Hello and welcome back to another MineColonies video. Today we are starting our building series. So we are going to be looking at the MineColonies buildings, how we build them from the start, how we design them, and how we cater for all the upgrades that we need to do. So we shall start with the citizens hut. So what I'm going to do is build the first level and then go through and build the upgraded levels as well, and show you the sort of considerations we do and how we have to design things to suit the mod. So I'm going to be doing it for the wooden pack, but I'll show you some stone ones as well throughout this series, because wood and stone are going to be the first two what do we call them, the first two style packs that we do for the mod. So I will just find a nice spot to build, and we'll do it near this for the fun of it, and we shall get going. Okay, so the first thing we have to consider is the first level is obviously got to be made out of basic materials, because you're probably not going to have a fairly advanced colony while we do this. So the wooden materials we've got are, or the materials we ought to be using for the level 1 are these sort of items here. So basic oak wood items, and some cobble and such. So we start with the basic frame of the building, and what we're going to do is put cobble underneath all these, so the lumberjack doesn't recognize that as a tree and come and cut it down. That's pretty important. Now the doors are always one wide, so we're going to go like that, and then a door will go in there, and we'll do it from the inside. So this is going to be fairly similar to some of the buildings you've seen, because obviously there's only certain basic stuff you can do, but this is how I like to do the level 1 buildings, because we need space to expand. So I'm going to do that 4 wide, so we can put a 2x2 window in there. And I don't think I did the cobble under there. Obviously when we've finished all these, we will scan them in later on. We actually want to go up 4 on these, I think. So we start basic frame, so we'll line that up with there. 2, 3, 4, and then we were going to go 4 across here, so 2, 3, 4. So I'll put 1 in there. I try and make my buildings fairly authentic, so you know, wooden beams where you'd expect them and things like that. I'm not a big fan of modern or unrealistic building designs, and let me just turn that off. Yeah, not a big fan of unrealistic designs because I don't think they fit with the mod very well, but each their own, and that's why we now have the schematic system. So of course you can build your own buildings and substitute any of the ones in game for your own styles. That's the whole point of it. So if you do like futuristic or unrealistic or buildings all made out of redstone blocks, then knock yourself out and make them yourself, scan them in and use them as you like. The schematics also do give server owners the ability to design their own buildings, and the game will, when run on a server, it'll use the schematics that are server side, not client side. So people connecting can't use custom schematics they've made themselves and therefore cheat, and B, a server owner can sort of force a particular style on a server if they want, which we think will be quite good. You know, you can have roleplay servers where, you know, it's dwarven design or elven design or all sorts of different stuff you can play around with, but that'll be up to the server owners to do all that. So let's knock out a floor quickly. As I say, it's very basic little citizens hut, single story, just ready. We'll do this in cobble. Don't want too much wood, even though it is the wooden style. And of course what we will do, this is built in oak, but we can do different styles in different types of trees. Now let's start with the roof, so I'm going to put that across there. You'll see why later. Not going to use this block because it's a bit expensive. Obviously one of them is the equivalent of 4 blocks of planks, and you're not going to see these, so there's no need for them to be in the proper oak rather than the planks. So we'll just put a roof round the around the sides, like so. With the basics of our house coming along quite well. So I'm just going to finish off the roof, and I will not bore you with that, so I'll be back when the roof is done. Okay, that's the roof built up a bit. I don't want to go much higher than this, so I'm just going to finish off the top of the roof here with some half slabs, just to keep the weather out, like so. So it's not looking too bad. So that's the roof, outside of the roof done, and inside. So what are we going to do here? What we will do is we will put a reverse set of these around, just to give it that roofy look. Like so, and then we can do another one of these here. I know this is using extra resources, you don't necessarily have to, but I actually prefer the way this looks. So in here we're actually just going to fill this again with half slabs. That looks pretty consistent roof there. So that's not too bad. So we need a bit of a feature on the outside, so what we'll do is we'll just put a couple of torches around the edge, like so, just to make sure the outside is lit up. That should be sufficient. Now this is level 1, so we're not going to go too fancy at all. So I'm not going to put glass in the windows, because you probably won't have glass, or you shouldn't have glass at level 1. I mean, you can make it yourself, of course, but the workers that do glass probably won't be around. So, and that gives us something to upgrade to later on. So that's pretty much the structure of this house done. So what we do need is, of course, the citizen's hut chest. Now we have to be very careful where we place this, because obviously we can't move it in relation to the building in later levels. So I'm actually going to place it just inside the door here, and I need to place the town hall first before it'll let me place it, so we will just do that quickly. So I'm just going to fly over here and plop it down there, just to get it out of the way, and bingo. Right, so that's that. So now we need a bit of decoration for the rest of the house, and so we will go with, we'll put a bed. Should we put a bed in? That means you need a bit of wool to be able to build this. Okay, let's not actually put a bed in. Let's go with what's going to be easy. A pressure plate and a fence, and I wanted where's it gone? A sign. That's relatively easy to make, and I've forgotten where all the blocks are. Some of that. So what we're going to do is we shall have we're going to put it here, pressure plate on top, and some chairs. And then along here we will go with good old sofa. And I think that'll do. That's Citizens Hut level 1. So that's what we would design, or what we will design for a basic hut. Now all we need to do is actually map out the bounds of the thing. So what we need to think of now is, how big is this going to become when we do a level 4? So what I will probably do at level 4 is we'll be going up a level, and if we stay on this footprint, it'll be a fairly tall and small house, so we'll probably get a bit bigger in one direction. So we might come out, the door and the chest generally need to stay in the same place, so we might push out, you could push out this way a bit. What I don't want to do is do too much in one direction, because that'll make placing things at this level unnatural. Yes, you can always see the level 4 in the build tool. We will be able to very soon. When you place the buildings, you can cycle through the levels to show you what all the levels look like in that position. But I don't want to expand it too much. So what we're actually going to do, we're going to come out this way by a couple of blocks later on. So, and we will go, we will fill in the front. Maybe we can push the door out. That might work. So what I'm going to do is, that's going to stay there. So I'm actually going to put a little thing like that, which then makes us show that, and one out there, and then we're going to come out with a couple of fence posts here and here. So that gives us a footprint which is slightly bigger than the level 1, or it's not because of the overhang. So I actually need, so we're going to just push this out a little more, and what we can actually do is we can put that on there to make it look like it's there for a purpose, and that's come out. We'll actually push the, we'll push these out one more, and what the hell, it's only cobblestone. We'll give a little cobblestone path to the edge. So that's our level 1. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this recording on pause. I'm going to go into MC Edit, and I'm going to make a clone of this next to it, so we can then change it for the level 2. So see you in a sec. Okay, back, and I have an exact copy minus the floor, which I forgot to clone. Haha. An almost exact copy. But we will just do that quickly. So this is going to be the level 2 hut. Now, at level 2, you would expect, not guaranteed, but most people will have built all the level 1 or all the basic workers. So they'll have a craftsman that makes stuff, a miner, a blacksmith, a farmer, who else we got? Fisherman, and a few others, which means we'll be thinking about some slightly better materials. One thing they should have is the guy who makes glass, so we can add windows at this level. So this is where we started. So one thing we will upgrade, of course, is, if I remember where it is, there it is. Let's put some glass in the windows. That's an easy win. Adds another material into the build, which means either the player's got to supply it, or they have to have a worker that does it for them. But this on its own isn't enough for an upgrade, of course. Now the lumberjack should be working pretty well here, and I'm quite keen to not have all this oak. So what I'm actually going to do is, I would suggest that we go with another common wood, so not too rare, but we actually changed the roof to a darker wood. So again, I'm going to do that off camera for you now, and I'll be back when it's done. Okay, that's done. So we now have a spruce wooden roof, which I think looks a lot better than the plain oak and oak. And for a level 2 building, you should have found some spruce and have your lumberjack producing spruce, but from the inside you get the odd quirks like this. So the decision now is, do we want to change the inside to spruce as well? So I'm going to go and do that, and we'll see what it looks like in a minute. Okay, so we've done the roof in the spruce wood as well, and again I think that looks better. So I think we're going to leave that. But the rest of the room is looking pretty bare now. I don't think we're going to increase the footprint under level 2. So exterior wise, what we might do is add a bit more playfulness out here. So we might do, I'll tell you what we'll do. We can actually carry on the spruce at the moment and put, don't need that. Spruce fence like that, and then we can go, how do we do it? Let's try like that, and like that perhaps. Doesn't look too bad. A little porch over the door. I'm going to keep the outside the same, I think, for now, although we could add some very common flowers in to the front. So how about we just do maybe in this bit? We can, oh no, let's make this a little front garden. So what we could do is come out here a little bit, and then just put a couple, these red and yellow flowers are pretty easy for the player to find, so we can put them in. So we put a porch on the front, we've changed the roof, so now I think all we need to do is, so let's make this a bit more like a useful home. So we can have crafting bench, furnace and bed. And these are all things player should obviously have easy access to. Now thinking about it, we're going to go, that's going to disappear and we're going to build out there, that's going to move out a bit, so we're going to put these here, and let's do, let's do that. So it's like a little kitchen area there, and then the bed we can go go here for now, and perhaps we'll pop a chest down there, which is not used for anything really, but just looks a bit better. And we will now, we'll add some lighting inside the building as well. So that's good. Is it enough for a level 2 upgrade? So we replace the roof, porch, some flowers, a bit more wall out here, kitchen area, bed and glass. So I think that's not a bad amount of stuff we need to find for level 2. So we have our level 1 looking pretty plain and boring. Our level 2 looks a bit better, a bit more interesting, bit of colour. Yeah, I think that's a decent upgrade from that. So of course citizens have 4 levels, so we're going to do the level 3 and the level 4 in the next episode. So thank you for watching. I hope you like it. Leave me any comments below and I will see you next time.